guys, and welcome back to vlogmas.
Rock and roll our life. One happy man, one happy land. Do, do, do. Christmas again.
Okay, today we're doing Am I the Asshole Christmas Edition. Am I the Asshole is a subreddit if you've never seen it. I'm sure you probably have seen people do this exact video, but we're doing Christmas Edition because, once again, vlogmas. So I've got 5 different scenarios here. Some are like a little more lighthearted, some are a little family drama oriented, which I'm well versed in. So we're gonna see. Also, I feel like I just have to give this disclaimer. It's just my opinion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I think this person's an asshole or not. It doesn't matter. It's just my opinion. Okay, we're gonna start off with this one called Am I the Asshole for Canceling Christmas for My Kid? It says, hey Reddit, I'm in a bit of a tough spot and need some perspective on whether I'm being too harsh or not. So here's the situation. I recently decided to cancel Christmas for my 14-year-old son because he's consistently getting bad grades in school. Now before you all jump to conclusions, let me give you some context. My son has been struggling academically for the past few months despite our attempts to help him and provide the necessary resources. We've had meetings with his teachers, arranged tutoring sessions, and even tried to establish a more structured study routine at home. Despite all these efforts, his grades have not improved. Feeling frustrated and at a loss, I sat down with my wife to discuss a course of action. We came to the decision that canceling Christmas presents might serve as a wake-up call for him. We explained to him that we were disappointed in his lack of effort, and we felt that he needed to understand the consequences of not taking his education seriously. However, since breaking the news to him, I've been bombarded with criticism from my family and friends who claim I'm being too harsh and ruining the holiday spirit. They argue that Christmas is a time for joy and celebration, and punishing my son this way is cruel and unusual. So Reddit, am I the asshole for canceling Christmas for my son because of his bad grades? Should I reconsider my approach, or am I justified in using this as a teaching moment? I'm genuinely seeking honest opinions and advice here. Thanks in advance. Okay, my first thought is, does this child have a learning disability and or mental health issues? Because it seems like he is putting in effort, right? If there's like after school resources, tutoring, structured studying at home, like that is effort, even if it's forced effort, and the grades aren't improving. So like I feel like there may be something else going on in the background. Like, do I think you're an asshole for, like, wanting your child to have a wake-up call and, like, have good grades? No. Do I think you're an asshole for taking away his entire Christmas at age 14 because he has bad grades? Kinda. I think that, like, that's not necessarily gonna make anyone learn. And also, maybe what he needs is just, like, a mental health break. And like a break from school, and like Christmas break, depending on where you are, like 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever, is like filled with like excitement and like, oh, I don't have any school and I get to open presents and I get all of these things. So for him to be reminded over Christmas break, like, I didn't do well in school, so now I don't even get to enjoy like any gifts. Not that it's about the money, but like at 14, if he's had 13 years of presents, and at 14, because maybe something else is going on in the background and he has bad grades, we're like not giving him presents. I don't think that's necessarily the approach. But I get that these parents are probably like out of ideas, but I don't necessarily think that canceling Christmas is the way to go. At least for me personally. I know that if I had bad grades, taking away my presents would not bring me good grades, let's say. Okay, the next one. Oh, I picked this one because I'm relating a lot to this year. Am I the asshole because I want to spend Christmas at my house? I've gotten into a family fight because of where to spend Christmas. I've always have spent Christmas with my mother and my grandparents, which my sister also has done most years. It has gotten more difficult for me and my family, who are my husband and my kids, to do so in recent years because we moved away and now have to fly to be there. This year, my sister will be with her husband's family for Christmas. Because of various reasons in our life, me and my husband have had a very stressful time lately and just felt that it would put extra pressure on us to go to my mother's for Christmas. So I expressed a wish to her that we would be spending Christmas in our own home. She said that she understood, even if she thought it was a bit sad. My mother is very caring and not mean in any way. The reason I want to be in my own home is because I don't want stress of going away. My sister, however, exploded. She became very upset because I'm leaving our mother alone on Christmas, which isn't true because she would be celebrating with my grandparents who live close to her, and told me that I am selfish and that I never sacrifice anything for other people. Since she already decided that she is going to spend Christmas with her in-laws, I need to make her sacrifice and spend Christmas with our mother regardless of how I feel about it. Am I the asshole? No, and your sister is. Your sister is an asshole. Because you can spend Christmas wherever the hell you want to, especially with children. Going back to the last story, kids need a break. I know that they are like probably up 12 hours of the day being like absolutely insane, but they too deserve to just like be home. And I think your sister just probably exploded because she feels guilty for not being with your mom, and she's taking it out on you because she could make herself feel better if you were at least with her. Also, this is going to sound maybe rude. I don't know the age of these people, but I'm assuming that since your mother is spending Christmas with her parents, that she has to be at a certain age of youth, right? I mean, not like she could be 60 and her parents could be 80. I'm not saying that we should take that for granted, her age, but like, I don't know. She's not going to be alone, and it's okay for you to like not travel. And if your sister really wants your mom to not be alone, she can pay and fly her out to you guys. Is my opinion, but I have a hard time with that because I'm like, it's hard for me because like sometimes I just want to relax and I feel guilty and I like can't stay home on holidays. Okay, our third one. Oh, this one's kind of long, but that's okay. Am I the asshole for ruining Christmas? I honestly don't think I ruined the upcoming Christmas almost 2 months away, but lines have been drawn and shit has flown. I, 35 female, have never really liked my in-laws, but would always be polite, generous, and respectful. They're just so opposite of my family, and knowing what they've done to my wife, abuse and neglect, I'm very good at keeping them at a distance, as does she. She's very low contact with them, and we see them about every 6 months for a couple of hours. For Christmas, her family would do a Secret Santa, which works well, as previously they would spend money they don't have on gifts that I would end up giving away, like Dollarama soaps, shampoo, Kleenex. I would always tell them I didn't want presents, but a card and a photo of them would be perfect. So I'm happy to have only one person give me something, as I can be more direct and tell them I don't really want anything store-bought, as it's unnecessary. They shop this way for my wife too, so she tells them the same thing. Yesterday we went out to dinner with my mother-in-law. I told her I had picked her boyfriend's name and telling her the gift idea. Yesterday we went out to dinner with my mother-in-law. I told her I had picked her boyfriend's name and was telling her gift ideas. These two are in the middle of a horrible breakup, but as I've known him for 10 years and it's not my business, I was going ahead as normal. My mother-in-law then said to me, he drew your name too, and he was so pissed, and he said, why did I have to get the person that I hate the most? I had no clue this man felt this way about me. I have given him money, clothes, food, and cleaned their hoarder nest because that's what I would do for my family, even if we're not close. I was pretty upset. After the dinner, I opened the Christmas group chat and I wrote, I don't want any presents but thank you, and left the group. I don't want a present from a person who doesn't like me or who has bad intentions. But he also has no job or any income, so I didn't really want him to buy me anything, especially if he hates me. My sister-in-law lost her shit. She messaged me stating that she worked so hard on Secret Santa and that I have ruined Christmas. She then called all my family members and told them I ruined Christmas and shit hath hit the fan. I asked her how me no longer attending ruined her event when there was no date or location, as they all have hoarder houses and we live 2 hours away and they won't drive here. But I was ignored. My wife has my back and basically told them to go fuck themselves. But I'm a sensitive soul and can't help but wonder, did I ruin Christmas? Fuck no. Fuck no, dude. I think really they should have just... Why? I have a lot of questions. Like, ruining Christmas years out, or months out, is crazy. Also, this seems to be a guy that, like, this person doesn't get along with the family doesn't like this person. Obviously, he said, like, one of the family members said that he hates him. It's like, why do we care if they're not there? Why do we care? And also, like, you should be, like, joyful that you don't have to spend money on someone that you hate. And it works out easy, because these two men who don't like each other, apparently, got each other. They both don't want to buy each other things. Boom, cancel it out. The rest of the Secret Santa can go on as normal. I think we're just making some issues where there no issues need to be. But isn't that family for you? Okay, this is another one about a family fight. Should I get over this big family Christmas fight that happened 2 years ago? Very, very long story short. My wife and I ended up in the middle of Christmas chaos where her and my mother-in-law, who said some insanely hurtful things and has yet to apologize, ended up in a huge blowout that resulted in us having to leave at the beginning of the party. We were out of state and had to drive home. It was probably the worst Christmas I've had on record. Fast forward, it's been nearly 2 years since this happened, and we have not seen them or had much contact. More recently, they've attempted to reach out with pleasantries, but I happen to feel uncomfortable that there was no apology. I'm glad my wife is trying to make amends, but I'm not so easy to win over. Many awful, nearly unforgivable things were said, and there were no apologies. I essentially refuse to be around them until there's a real sign of apology or attempt to discuss what the fuck that nightmare Christmas was all about. I'm 56 years old and I'd rather not spend my time around unpleasant people, family or not. Am I the asshole because I expect to have some sort of apology or a, hey, you know, about last time? The silence and cold shoulder and lack of attempt to mend fences is really alarming and uncomfortable. Okay. I don't know. I'm in the middle. I don't think you're an asshole. But I have two sides to this. I think if this were you and your mother, that is maybe a different story. And, like, I respect that you don't want to be around unpleasant people, no matter if they're family or whatever. But I also think that since it's your wife and her mother, if she's feeling cool about it, you just kind of feel cool about it and go move on with the day. But that's just kind of my opinion on all of it. Like, if it's if it's your significant other, if they like that person, cool. If they don't like that person, cool, I don't like that person, you know? But maybe that's like an unpopular opinion. Do I think you have to spend time with all of these people? Like, no. But don't hold it against your wife that she's, like, having amends are being had. That's not a sentence. With her mom when you, like, don't feel like it should be. Or, like, want an apology, you know? I don't know. That one was maybe confusing and maybe a hot topic. Okay, I've got one last one. Am I the asshole for being upset that I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas? So I, 20 female, have two younger siblings, 18 and 16-year-olds, who I love to bits. Oh, I read this one. They're definitely, like, they're in the UK somewhere for sure, with the lingo. I also love my parents, but Mom and I have a strained relationship due to childhood stuff my siblings never had to deal with. Therefore, they don't understand how I could see our mother as anything but the perfect parent. I'm glad that their experience growing up was the way that it was, but she was a very different mom to me, and that's besides the point. Anyways, a week before Christmas this year, Mom and I got into a massive argument. I was told to get out of her house, so I've been staying with a friend since. This is not the first time this has happened either. I wasn't sure about Christmas Day, but my dad said to come, and my mom is fine now. I got home last night, and all has been fine. It's like our blow-up never happened, which is also normal for us. However, this morning we did presents, and it was all good. I got a few little bits and bobs that I am truly so grateful for. Bits and bobs. You got bits and bobs. I wasn't expecting a big Christmas, as we're saving for a holiday. But then Mom brought out 2 extra gifts, one for each of my siblings. They both got the big thing they asked for, which valued over $300 each, and I got nothing. It's a bit later, and now I'm in my room, having a little cry. I feel guilty being upset about something as trivial as gifts because I really am not a materialistic person, but this just feels like a slap in the face. I messaged my friend and she said I was overreacting and acting like a spoiled brat. Now I don't know how to feel. Am I the asshole for being upset I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas? P.S. For context, gift giving is my love language, and every year I put a lot of thought into gifts for my family. This year I spent over $400 altogether, and my mom's was the most expensive gift by far. I am very much a broke uni student, so they know how much I value giving and receiving thoughtful presents. You're not the asshole, quite literally at all. And I get this to my core. I get this to my core. Because I have little siblings that have had a completely different childhood that I had. And I am very thankful that they, you know, had the opportunity to have a different childhood. But then sometimes it is hurtful and it feels not great. Especially when you're crying over something that, like, you're like, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that I got one less present. It doesn't matter that my mom spent hundreds of dollars more on them and not me. It feels silly because you're like, why am I crying over this? It is the fact that your mom has either one of two things: forgotten about you and not gotten you a present, or purposefully did not get you a present because she is upset with you, and that neither are okay. And it doesn't make sense to me, and I know the girl that wrote this is literally not watching, but I am sorry. And I am sorry to anyone that feels this way. It's not silly. Your feelings are valid, especially around Christmas. Like, this is not the time to be making yourselves feel bad for feeling things. So, you're not the asshole. Most of the time, these people are not assholes. It just needs a little more context, or you need a different perspective. So, maybe that's not fun of me. Maybe, you know, it'd be more fun to watch a video about where someone's like, no, these people are definitely assholes. But I don't know. I see it differently. I'm just different. Anyway, okay, I think that is all. So I will see you tomorrow for another day of 12 Days of Vlogmas. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.